That's perfect. Hello, people of the online community of YouTube video watchers. Welcome to this. My 1974 Toyota RA21 Celica with a V8 stuffed into it. If you're new, up above my head on the garage door is not the link to where I last worked on the Celica, rather a recipe for foot lettuce. I've been dreading doing this, but this is the time it needs to happen. How do I do this gently? So thankfully the original owner had this old school service manual for it that is super complete and detailed and tells how to do everything. So temporary refit window regulator handle, lower the glass fully, mark position of window regulator and glass channel. I'm just gonna mark where the lowest point is, I guess, on these guys. I don't know why I would need to do that, but that's where the glass is. My plan is to paint the back side of these doors because no one will ever see it and that's the right thing to do. Luckily, the window regulators on the front doors work absolutely great. There's no need to rebuild those. The rear ones, however, that's a different story. Upper channel bolts. These are kind of loose. I may or may not be filming this up close, so I remember exactly where this was positioned. This is how I'm keeping it all organized. I have no idea how heavy this glass is, or its regulator. Ouch, my finger's caught. Okay. Working through the opening the door.
Maxed out on the bottom right corner.
Disconnect the glass holders from the regulator assembly. This is still easier than trying to mask off all this crap to paint. Ta-da! Remove the window regulator handle and the interior trim, did that. So I gotta extract the regulator through that hole, I think. This should be interesting. This one needs to be rebuilt for sure. This window is all cattywampus. Ouch! Ah, my arm! Ouch! Unscrew and remove regulator assembly. Glass is out. Ouch, that's sharp. Here's the other piece. Neither one of these windows went up correctly. That one's loose. It's out. Day number 2. A wild Dave from the junkyard has appeared.
Hello.
I just added a J to your name. I called you DeJave.
Jay?
DeJave. This because I don't want body filler in my belly button. Haha. So Dave of the junkyard came out to help out with this process. Touching roofs. I guess we need some filler. The epoxy primer I used is non-sanding. However, it has been about 5 days in a hot, dry climate since I've done that, so it is going to need some sanding. I'm using some Evercoat Rage Ultra Premium Filler. This is not sponsored, I bought this stuff. It was $100 for a gallon of it. Per the TDS, I need to initial and feather it in 80 grit. I'm trying to do this without burning through the epoxy coat because the whole point of the epoxy coat is to protect and seal the bare metal. There's some areas right here where I'm already starting to get really close to burning through, so I'm going to lay off on those areas, but that's identifying where the high spots are going to be when we start doing the skim coat. If it goes through too many areas, I could also re-epoxy again on top of that, but I'm trying to avoid having to do that because I'm going to end up doing a polyester coat after this is done, which is going to help with the filling process of the highs and the lows. I like I'm wearing like a chem suit and you're just like t-shirt, hat.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the plastic spreader.
Yeah, no, it is.
Like, how would that be left or right-handed?
That's what I thought he was saying. That thing is awkward to grab.
That's what she said.
That's why I stopped. I hesitated before I said it.
Dave, do you also bake?
Cakes. I spread cakes.
You spread cakes? No, I wasn't talking about that. I think you would be good at baking. I feel ridiculous because I'm so overdressed.
Dress to impress.
I'm so sick of going home at night and having all kinds of body shop dust in my nose and my eyes. I'm like over it. Angel just went to the store and got a broom so we can sweep off all the dust because I have one, but it may have touched some grease or crap on the floor, and that's the last thing you want to do is put grease and crap on your body. You don't want that on either body. I have dirt on my lens. Look at all these little random high spots that occurred, and this was from doing it in 320 grit and red Scotch-Brite. And of course the areas where the luggage rack were mounted, and these are all kind of jacked up. How is this rear quarter going, the one that got leaded?
You can see all the low spots, high spots, all the warpage going on, some of the metal work.
Ah, yeah, now you can see with the gloss of the wax and grease remover.
Yeah.
This is super handy for mixing out the filler. It's just got little tear off teeth. So that way you got a clean surface every time you go to make your filler. Man, this stuff looks edible, but I think it would probably kill you. I'll do these little luggage rack spots first. They're people from another planet that come to Earth 65 million years ago.
That's like Jurassic Park, but with better weapons.
The inside of this shop is completely destroyed with dust now. I'm gonna have to blow the whole thing out. I don't think there's an innuendo there. What'd you say about my belly button?
You said it's full of dust.
Angel smooth cake over here.
Have you ever seen the rain?
So much for not wearing off any of my epoxy coat. There's all kinds of bare metal around the edges now, but there was such big deviations in the sheet metal from the luggage rack. Since I got this size block, I might as well knock out some of these areas. This hopefully shouldn't need too much. There's just some gouges around the filler neck from getting it down in bare metal. I feel like the big block's kind of ridiculous. Oh yeah, this works much better. Oh, big guy. Maybe Australian. Knock down a bit. Day number 3. I'm not wasting any time getting straight to it today, so I'm going to tackle these rear quarter panels. Going over it again with some 220 just so I can kind of identify those low spots, and I think I'm going to have a high spot that's going to need to get hammered and dollied out. Now I got most of the deep stuff taken care of. Angel just went to the body shop store and picked up some honey. Not the kind that comes out of bees' asses.
No, it came from flowers' asses.
Huh? I guess.
So we got some of this stuff. Plastic honey. And you add this to the filler and it makes it essentially self-leveling, for lack of better terms. It's a little trick that both Fred and David use for body working. It's kind of funny because they both mentioned it about the same time. I don't know where my paint depth gauge is. I can't find it, but I'm willing to bet if I checked these areas where it looks like it's the thickest, that it is less than the thickness of a coat of paint on a car. It's like microns deep in some of these areas. So way better than the 1/4 inch that was there before. Angel creepy cake. It's a wild Dave's butt. who has walked into the shot Angel was setting up. Now Angel's moving it on his butt. Zooming in on people's cheeks over here. I see why they call it honey now. It actually looks like honey.
Yeah, I think that's just dye. I feel like it's just fiberglass resin, but we'll see.
I feel like it's something that would not taste good on toast. This is the stuff that Fred typically uses. David usually uses resin for fiberglass. Wow, yeah, it does self-level. Oh yeah, you got plenty. I got a couple high spots right here, that I'm gonna tap down. So you switched over to some Evercoat Ultra Extra. This has a slower cure time and it's kind of doing what the whole point of this plastic honey was supposed to do, to make it a lot easier to smooth out. I just re-skimmed this rear driver quarter panel with it and it's so much easier to smooth out and apply, but there's a downside. The cure time being longer is an understatement. It's a really long cure time. I could have added more hardener, but it is kind of nice having that long working time and allows you to get it super, super smooth. The side that Fred leaded is a lot easier to bodywork over here. There's really not many high and low spots compared to the other side that didn't get leaded. I wonder if it's gonna change when we trim the structure underneath.
Probably.
So 3 people working on this car for 3 days, and we got 33.3% left to go. That's fact. That's math. I did maths. There's now day number 4. I thought this was gonna be possible in one video with 3 people. No, this is a lot of work, and I don't want to cut corners to get it done all in one video. This is the last day Dave is here visiting. Got a nice, thin, smooth coat over the roof. That's all gonna get sanded off, almost all of it, but this will be a nice final coat.
If you do patches like I started to in the first place, then you'll have like all these highs and lows, and this really evens it out when you're sanding it, so it's all nice and smooth.
So I just had a good conversation with Fred about my OCD level in bodywork, and I could dive into a deep rabbit hole on this thing very quickly and try to turn it to a Barrett Jackson auction show car thing. I don't go to car shows. So this is the one area where the body line had some pretty big dents on it that Fred re-leaded, and I need to make sure I get a perfect body line with my tape as I start sanding this filler right here. The conundrum I'm running into on this car that Angel and Dave are both witnessing is I keep going down a hole of trying to make every square inch of this car flawless, which will make this car a nightmare to ever want to drive it because I'm chasing insane, ridiculous perfection level. For instance, the doors. I was talking to Fred about it and he's like, well, if I really want to make the side of the car perfect, I would skim coat over the gaps, the whole side of the car, and then start blocking it out and cut my lines back in for the door. That would be going above the level of OEM quality level paint restoration. And that's where you start getting into the area of making this thing an unrealistic car you'll never want to drive because it's so flawless you don't want to get any dings or scratches on it. Granted, my method of dialing it down is probably better than 90% of most respray jobs that people get at body shops.
We live by the DA, die by the DA.
Yeah, we haven't even used the DA on this thing. We've been doing it all hand sand. If I really wanted to save time.
Like people that just look at cars at the dealership, like you were saying,
yeah,
like you could use a DA and paint something as long as it's shiny and close to the same color, they'll never notice the difference.
I'm trying to go like above that level.
It looks like I'm doing an interview for like NBC where I'm like trying to hide my identity.
So what I'm gonna do to make sure the body line is the same on the other side of the car is I'm gonna go ahead and measure from the seam to the body line. So I go over this side. So it's there. That's the natural body line right there. taping right up against my other tape line so I can pull off this and now start doing the other side of it. That looks like the stuff from Star Wars.
Crocs.
That's perfect. My camera lens is so dusty. I'm sorry if it looks like crap on camera, but I gotta focus on this and less on the camera. Down here, you really only see below the bumper to about here. There's a tow hook, so really the only exposed area is like right here. So I'm just gonna make sure that's flat. This is now the end of the 4th full day working on this car. Barely filming anything at this point. I didn't even really touch the camera much today, just trying to make progress. Both my cameras are completely just destroyed in bodyworking dust, as is the shop that I have to completely clean and mop out before I film car view in here again. We've managed to go from 66% complete to about 69% complete. It's gonna take another video. I refuse to just rush this to get it done. The next video though, I got some JDM goodies going on this area. And Angel has gotta get new pants now. I'm gonna end this video here. Thank you, Dave, for flying from Colorado to help. I'll see you soon with another video. Bye.